Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to be going over Wurlim the Frost King today. The Lich King, if you've seen him before, you can get him from the Battle Pass at the very end. You can pay for it right away for $120 total, or you can pay for the Battle Pass, which is one of the best deals they've ever come out with, and slowly do the dailies and do the weeklies and get him. Now, you have to stay on top of it. Do your dailies and weeklies so that you can unlock him. If you ever fall behind, you can do $1 per level in the Battle Pass, so you will always be able to get this before the season ends if you wanted to spend a little bit extra money if you're behind at the end of 7 weeks and whatever else we have to do it with. So I outfitted him all with defense percentage right here, defense percentage gloves, chest, speed boots, defense right here. Now, I did give him 100% chance to crit so we could see what kind of damage he could do off of critting. I just have him in stalwart gear because I was using him for something else, which I'll go over in another video. And I do have him with accuracy set. So let's look at his total stats. He's almost at 4,000 defense, 207 speed, 100% chance to crit, so we can see what kind of damage he does. If we wanted to see how much damage he does the other way, we would go with critical damage gloves, critical damage neck, and see how much more damage we can pump out of him if we wanted to. If you've already seen him, I'm sure you have, on his A1, 50% chance to place a freeze debuff on the enemy. If you place that freeze debuff, you get a chance to, well, then you place a perfect veil on the enemy with the lowest HP. He can even apply it on himself. Everything's based off of defense. All his damage based off of defense. AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Mine is booked out, of course. 100% chance to place a decreased crit damage on the enemy, and then an increased crit damage on your allies of 30%. Now, I don't think this is too fancy. Other people say that they like this a lot. I don't think it's worth slotting him in for this additional damage, and we're going to go over the details on that in just a minute when we go over the spiders. We're going to do dragons, ice golem, spiders. Then we're going to talk about arena, and I'm in the top platinum. Not anymore. I'm like 150 in platinum arena now, and we'll see what he can do there, and we'll talk about what it is when he goes up against somebody like Torment. And then this ability where you take 25% less damage and have a 60% increased defense for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Of course, his aura is for arena only. Masteries, I just gave him a little bit of crit damage. I gave him Giant Slayer instead of going in here for Flawless Execution just to get him a little bit additional damage. Really doesn't matter. Whatever you want to put on him, I don't think it's going to make any difference because he's not a huge DPS machine. And then kind of what I do for arena, I go in here to get our counterattack right, our retribution, and then also our deterrent so we can counter if anybody gets frozen. Now that Torment doesn't affect passives, I gave him these additional passives to see how it works out. Plus, we get more resistance here for each buff he places. We could have gone down to more critical damage. Probably would have been interesting, but when we go to the clan boss and other things, I want to be able to have War Master on him to try him out with War Master. See if we can get a little bit more damage. Okay, let's jump right into what we're going to do with this Wurlim. Wurlim all around. So we're going to go into dragons first to get an idea of what all of his buffs are like. We want to see him freeze people. We're going to see him initially start off with the AoE, with a decreased defense, and poisons up. So we're doing a lot more damage. Bam. We did 25,000, I guess, on each of those. Now they do have a decreased critical damage to us. We have an increased critical damage of 30%. Here we go. We're going to do a takedown. We're going to get damage there. We've got Whisper in here to see if she can freak out and start doing 100 turns on her Relentless gear. Now we do have the decreased damage of 25% up on us. It's that little seed of life thing. And then we do have the increased defense of 60%. So with that up, yes, you are definitely covered. But it is for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown, so there will be times when you don't have it up and get attacked by, say, even these guys right here. If it was on a 3-turn cooldown, it might be too cheap. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, though. This AoE, which is pretty interesting. Now, we don't have a way to recover anybody if they die, so I really don't want anybody to die on us, but it can happen. Again, Wurlim isn't like a huge carry in the game. He can do things, right? He can cover you for those 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. 25% less total damage is a lot. 60% increased defense is a lot. But it is on a 4-turn cooldown, and the rest of what he brings to the party, I find it a little lackluster for sliding in. Even if you are a beginning champion, beginner player, right? First off, if you're a beginner player, you're not going to have the books needed to do all these, to book him out. And if you don't have the books to book him out, then he's really not good at all. If you do use the books to book him out, and then you pull somebody like a Bad L, a Martyr, a Duchess, a Draco, somebody like that, you might feel really bad that you used all those books on Wurlim. Now, is he great for somebody who doesn't have that many champions on their account? I'm going to say again, he's okay. I don't feel that he is the end-all, be-all, or fantastic. You do get him, not for free. You have to pay for the gold pass, and then you can get him at the end of it, so you might have him in you know, I don't know, 7 weeks from now, And I don't think most accounts will need to slot him in. I don't feel like that increased 30% damage, even if you had 3 DPSers on the team, that's only 90% additional critical damage, 30 per each, when that another person filling Wurlim's slot for damage could be bringing in 200 base critical damage, no problem, or at least a lot more damage than he's bringing in right now. Yes, he is bringing in a few other things, I get it, but on most teams, even starter teams, and I've done plenty of them, that's what we do. That's what we do when we come in here and we go through all these teams. I do like that he's doing AoE on the actual boss here, on the Ice Golem boss. But what I do during the week when I'm on stream, we go through accounts like crazy. We look at all sorts of accounts coming up, from in-game accounts to beginner accounts, to get them through content or to speed up their runs in content when we're streaming on Twitch. Now, when we go into a lot of those beginner accounts, they are doing great with somebody like War Maiden, Kale, Apothecary, and whoever else they're bringing in there to beat dragons, to get up to dragons 20, right? Dragons 13, dragon 16, dragon 20. Wurlim is going to kind of hold you back if he's not booked. And then if he is booked, again, I don't know if you're going to come into issues with you might regret it kind of thing later on. I just feel like he can help you, yes, but I don't feel like he's something you should rush out and be really excited about getting this new Void Legendary Champion. We're going to do a lot of testing. We're going to do a lot of testing with him. I am. He is bringing sometimes critical damage to my group here. Sometimes he's bringing us increased defense or 25% less damage, which is going to help us out with the boss. I will enjoy it there. We do have amazing support because we've got Madam here. For Ice Golem, whenever you have Madam serious, the decreased attack is everything, and we get a decreased defense along with it. He is doing his AoE here, like I said, which is pretty cool. It could cause us to wipe. It could kill the boss or bring the boss below the thresholds and we could wipe from it. But I do like it. The champions do their AoEs on the boss here, especially when he's tied to decreasing their damage, decreasing their crit damage, and increasing our crit damage. But there are a lot of champions. Again, we could bring in Seducer in place of Wurlim, and Seducer is going to give us block debuffs for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown, along with shields of 30%. So blocking the negative 60% we get from the right side boss, the right side minion, along with giving us a 30% increase in defense from Seducer, still is pretty strong when you talk about where we're at. We're right here in the Ice Column, what we're dealing with right at this time. And then in Arena, if you bring up Wurlim, Gold 4, okay, he's going to be decent in, but he's taking up a slot where normally in Arena you go for a speed boost, right? You go for coverage. If you're facing against Tormund, then you already know. If you're facing against Tormund, you have immunity artifact or artifacts, or you have somebody to give you coverage like Duchess Lilitu to go first to give you coverage, or anybody else. Any of these new champions you see that give you block debuffs for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Those are who you want to bring into your party, right? So that's one, taking up the block debuffs. You need somebody there to block debuffs because you're going up against Tormund. You need them to go first, because if you got Wurlim in there doing Arena and buffing you with every single move he has, your whole party's just going to be frozen, like all the time. So Wurlim is just a freeze machine on you, not a freeze machine on everybody else with his 50% chance to freeze on his A1. He is a freeze machine because he's doing buffs nonstop, and he's freezing your whole party up against the Torment. It's not going to be fun for you. It's not going to be good for you. And I don't feel that he's bringing what is needed to the party for Arena, especially with Torment out there, because Torment is broken against buffs. It just doesn't make any sense. So being that it's that way, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of him either in Arena. But we are going to go into Arena. We're going to show him there. So we showed him here. We're going to jump into Spiders just for a minute. Just for a minute. Good. We took it down. We did really good time because we had 2 Royal Guards. We went with a really high DPS team. And we had Gorgorab here to pick us back up. And we had Madam to take care of the rest. Her AI is working much better now. It is doing her A3 in most instances, but not in every case. So we're going to go back in here to the Dragon's Den. And we're going to use probably Madam again because she's amazing. Yep, we're using Madam now instead of Terrell. Usually I'd have Terrell in here, but we're going to use Madam. I know his lead doesn't affect its Arena, guys. I know. I've just got him in here so you see him front and center. That is the person we're focusing in on. We're going to get his increased critical damage. Again, I talked about it earlier. We're going to get additional 30% for these 3, yes. But we could just bring in another Royal Guard here or a Cold Heart or something else. Maybe you don't have that, so this is a good substitute. But we're not going to be able to complete it. If I brought in another Royal Guard here or another Cold Heart or something else that could really do damage to the Spider boss, then we could beat it in this format. If you brought him in, say, instead of Miscreated Monster, you know how big of a carry Miscreated Monster is in Spiders, covers your whole entire team, just like Sir Nicholas. and then the burn comp or even the DPS comp with Miscreated Monster in here, I'd never have to worry about anybody dying. Never. But with Wurlim, you know, he doesn't really doesn't really fit in here. I could bring anybody in here like Miscreated Monster or somebody else, or let's just say we're in an account where we don't have those options. All we have is Wurlim as an option. Well, then you're going to have to restructure your team even still because it's not going to work out. Here he is giving us the decreased damage. We're still going to have people die. We could have Gorgorab in here to give us a pickup. We could have Arbiter in here to give us a pickup. We could be playing the same team with different people that would actually make it work, whereas he does not make it work. He's not bringing in the damage we need. You know, nobody does. Nobody brings in the damage that's needed on these spiderlings and on the spider boss unless it's damage based on enemy max HP. That's just the way it is, right? So now we need to get another hard hit from Royal Guard or we're not going to make it. Come on, Royal Guard. Has it been 4 turns? We actually might make this one. Here we go. Takedown. No. Okay, no takedown. Maybe this next turn, takedown. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. So normally the fight would be over. No, we can't do it. She healed. That's okay. So the fight would be over with if we subbed in somebody else. So the additional 30% increase crit damage isn't that important because you're having to force him into a slot there to make him work. And then his AoE damage is okay. It did 40k for us with a decreased defense on the enemy and the waves. That's respectable. That's normal for people who do AoE damage. We can do a lot more with other people. He isn't a full defense set, so he's very tanky. So as you see what I'm getting at that he's a good champion, but I don't feel like he is something that is truly amazing for all you guys out there to do anything with. I'm not even going to take him to Fire Knight because he's just not going to work well in Fire Knight. He doesn't have multi-hit. Let's get into Arena so we can see what we're talking about. Let's refresh it because these guys are definitely up at the top still. I still have them on my list. Let's do a quick refresh. Okay, who are these people? These people are really easy. They've got a whatever team just so they can drop down. Let's go right here. Here's a Torment. We're going to bring in... Don't look at my awesome team. That's an awesome team, actually. Don't look at it. Forget what you saw. We're going to bring in Where's his name? We're going to bring in him. Actually, we'll go with a regular speed. No, we're not going to go with speed. We'll go with him. Who else? Madam. We're going to bring in Madam to drop down everything they do with these two. We're gonna get frozen by this one. Let's try to bring in somebody fast enough to at least take her out if we can. I don't think we're gonna move fast enough from these people, but we will try. We will definitely try. Well, we can't speed boost because Torment's here, so just base speed alone needs to be faster than her. But she's gonna be under cloaked. No, she's faster. She's gonna take everything down. He's gonna nuke her if we're faster than her, and then we'll see what we can do with the rest of our party. Who should we bring in? Let's bring in some... No, we don't want to bring in freezes of our own because that will disrupt what we're trying to show here. So this is it because this is what I want to show with Wurlim in Arena. Okay, she's covering. Valkyrie, let's go. You good? How are we getting frozen by everybody? Yo, how did they get frozen right away? She didn't go. It's like we got hit by them and frozen. The only armor sets out there that can freeze are the ones when you hit the enemy. We're going to have to replay this and see what's up. Okay, so Wurlim's still here. Yes, nice. Come on, let us attack with Wurlim. Come on, stop it. Okay, we're going to get an attack up. Let's just see if my people get frozen. Of course we get buffed when we get that attack. Okay, he got a buff. He didn't get frozen. Great. Okay, we're going to replay this. We're going to replay this and see why in the world my people got frozen. Otherwise, I was talking to you guys and I didn't see it properly, but we're going to find out. Start over. Let's go. See what happened. Okay, yes. Okay, so she's... Okay, so Torment is still broken, by the way, everybody. Torment is still broken or just not fixed or whatever. She got frozen because she got her own buff, right, at the start of her turn. She got her own shield buff at the start of her turn, and she got frozen because Torment affects buffs. I don't even know what to say. Anyways... If I went fast enough, which we could to do Torment, to do our shields, Torment would just freeze your whole entire team because this guy right here is going to do buffs. Buff here, right? If he does freeze one of the enemies, he's going to place a buff on somebody. Even though it's Veil, it doesn't matter. Torment can freeze you just by standing there. If you get buffs right here from this increased critical damage, Torment's going to have a chance to freeze you. You're getting 2 buffs here, so for each instance of these buffs, the way Torment reads, he's going to have a chance to freeze you. Unless Torment just does, one of... I think he just does one of each. He does one of buff, one of whatever else. But still, he's still 1 instance each of Torment to freeze you. So do I think this guy is good in Arena? No. I think he's very terrible in Arena because he doesn't really bring much of... Nobody at high-end Arena is going to use this guy. I can tell you that right now. Nobody in Plat. And if you're thinking, oh, well, this is the only person I have, well, as long as you don't go up against a Torment, yes, you could probably use him and try him out. You could definitely try him out. Let's see what kind of damage we can do with him, just because this team doesn't have anything. These guys are not geared. Obviously, they're not level 60. This team is just here so that they can keep farming. We're going to drop defense just to give us a little bit more damage. We're going to... No, I didn't want to kill anybody yet. We're going to hit this bear. Oh, man, I can't help it. Biggin's going to kill everybody because Wurlim is too slow. That's all. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm going to do more testing on Wurlim, don't worry. But as you can see by my reaction to everything and me talking to you about it all, I don't feel like he's somebody that you really need to worry about getting or using. And if you're early game to mid game, I don't think he's worth your books. I think you're going to be definitely disappointed if you use all these books to use him. And I don't think he's going to fit into your clan boss team either. This for your clan boss team isn't that great. It's 2-turn for a 4-turn. This isn't any good for your clan boss team. Believe me, you can always slot in more for damage for the clan boss. And then you're not going to freeze the clan boss or get Veil. So take him off the picture for clan boss. I do not think he's going to work for you whatsoever. For Arena, if you're fighting against Torments, it's a no-go. Don't bring him in there. Even if you're not fighting against Torments, if you have a robust roster, you're definitely not going to bring him in there anyways. So that's really it. Let me know if I'm crazy. Please let me know. Leave me in the comments below, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on a video soon.